Hello everyone, Robert, Formula 5 Security Practice Lead and Microsoft MVP in Security category, also a blog author and book author. In today's video, I would like to talk with you about Microsoft Entra ID Governance and how to enhance security on an enterprise level. Before going further into the topic, we need to start from the landscape report about identity-related issues that happened in last 12 months around the world. 62% of them were related to 2 or more identity-related breaches. 68% of them were related to social engineering attacks or errors. 90% of them were at least one of identity-related incidents. And then 93% of them were incidents with direct business impact. Those numbers are huge, to be honest. But within the identity governance and the whole identity security functionality, we can secure those things. So let's go into the topic. We will start with the identity governance known issues because from our point of view, we noticed that many customers want to implement identity governance because they want to remedy the issues that they are having on a daily basis. Some of them are like permanently assigned roles, missing conditional access or poor conditional access setup. Access to projects and groups is done on a permanent type of work. In other words, if somebody will get access to the Teams, channel, group or whatever else, he will not have it removed. Onboarding, moving and leaving process is also a problem for our customers. Yearly wear of attestation/reviews, it's also a problem. It happens only when the audit will come. And then most of the things are done on manual work. So why Microsoft Entra ID can help you? It can help you because it has many features inside of this product that can help us, from entitlement management and access packages, then going through the access reviews, PIM, lifecycle workflows, and terms of use with the conditional access. So those things can help us pretty good. Let's start from the first part, which is entitlement management, and this is the feature that can help you manage access to the resources. Let's imagine on the left side we have internal users like managers, employees, and IT staff, and then on the right side of the screen you can see the third-party contractors/partners like vendors, researchers, and partners. So access entitlement management can help us creating the access packages. In this particular example on the screen, internal use type of access package that will grant access to the resources for internal users only. The most important thing about that is to mention that access to through the resources by access packages is done on day basis. It's not working like in PIM that you can have only maximum 20 or 8 hours. You can have like 180 days, for example, or 1 year type of access to the resources. It's very important to understand this kind of difference. On the right side, we have an external use access package where you can see that it's done only for, in this particular case, we can use that for external users, like for example, auditors. They need to come, they need to get the information, do the audit, provide the documentation, share it with us, voila, it's done. In the middle of the screen, you can see shared use access package that could be used for situations like projects where we are cooperating with vendors between our internal teams and the external people. So basically here we can have an example like somebody is managing the identity area for your company. For example, the Formula 5 would be a good case, choose. So we can have a shared use access package that will give access to internal users and external users to the same resources like groups, like folders, like SharePoint sites, applications, and soon to be also privileged identity roles. Going further, I have mentioned about access to the resources. Let's now take a look at the access reviews, which is the situation when we can create the review on a specific basis, like monthly basis, quarterly basis, yearly basis. It could be defined pretty well. So how it looks, first of all, the request will be sent to the users and resource owners. Then based on the configuration, either users will do the self-review or the managers or resource owners will do the review and decide who should stay in the access, who should have the access still to the resource, or who should be removed from the access. Then based on those decisions, the next step is to either keep or remove the access, and the next step is to send the report to admin what has been changed and etc. The reason why it's important is because it can help us to have a clean hygiene in our environment. Using this feature, we will not have situation that people come to our company, they work in one team, then they are moving to different team, and they have both type of accesses, right? We can manage those access and make it like a self-automated solution. Going further, privileged identity management, PIM. In other words, just-in-time access. It's based on the 4-step. The first step is to request role, then the second step is to approval workflow, either to approve or decline if it will be in the game. Then we have a third step, which is role activation, and fourth step is audit and access review. Below you can see the example of the flow. So eligible user will request role in privileged identity management portal. Then he based on the decision from the approver will get the access or will not get the access. If there is approval, so the role will be delivered to the user, and then he can work on the specific task based on the request. And we need to remember that we can configure PIM roles in that way that we can assign, for example, global admin or Exchange Online admin for 1 hour or maybe 8 hours or 4 hours. We can require justification and many other things. So these are the pretty good configuration items that we can use. Of course, at the end, we can have an access review. One thing that I need to highlight is that privileged identity management is not only for Entra ID roles, it's also for something which is called privileged access groups. And the third option is for Azure resources roles. So basically, using PIM, we can request, for example, global admin role, we can request membership in a group. And at the end, also, we can request being a contributor on a resource group. The next puzzle in this big picture is lifecycle workflow. So let's imagine you have your own company environment and you have a process that some newcomers are coming, somebody is leaving the company, somebody is moving between the teams. Everybody who works on the help desk knows how to manage those tasks and how big could be the pain depending on the numbers. So we can create a process or workflows that if somebody is joining the company, he will get the welcome email, his account will be pre-populated, he will get the temporary access pass for the first initial login, he will get all the required licenses, he will get all the required group memberships, and many other things. In other words, if somebody will be leaving, all the flow regarding the leaver also could be configured like removing licenses, removing groups, removing the access, and sending the emails to HR, and many more things. We can also integrate that with third-party applications. So all those things can be done and also controlled by manager depending on the flow that we will create. Here, sky is the limit, to be honest. We can create a very complex workflows, or we can also use the predefined simple workflows, whatever works the best for you. The last part of the puzzle is terms of use. It's not like a huge security configuration, but it's a situation that we can create a terms of use flow that will be triggered every time when user or internal or external will log into our environment for the first time. Then he will get the information about going through the document called company terms of use. He will have to read that and then accept that he understands all the rules. It's enforced by conditional access, so basically we don't need to configure anything else. It will be done in a well-known area of configuration. When it comes to the use cases, based on our experience from the past projects, we discovered that we did many projects in healthcare industry regarding the managing access to patient data. Then in the finance, we also did something about protecting financial systems and access to the systems. And then under the manufacturing area, we also helped our customers to ensure compliance and security, to make sure that they will have everything defined, like getting access, revoking access, reviewing the access, doing the audit, and many other things. I guess you remember from the first slide the list that I'm sharing here. So now I would like to show how we can remediate those things. Basically, it's like one-to-one matching. Permanently assigned roles can be matched to PIM and access packages. Conditional access, we also can map this to conditional access according to the zero trust methodology, plus access packages. Access to projects and groups, again, it could be mapped to access packages. Onboarding, moving, leaving process, simple case, lifecycle workflows, reviews, any type of reviews and attestation can be done based on the access reviews. And manual work can be changed to scripts and automation. And basically, we have our own identity governance as a code script that will help us create a whole configuration of the identity governance using the JSON, predefined JSON files. Speaking our approach, I said something about that already. We are doing it using the templates like a JSON files. We are also having like our own module for governance configuration. And obviously, where it's possible, we are using the DevOps tools to do the automation instead of doing the ClickOps. So that's all from the presentations part. And now we are going to switch to the demo to give you a little bit walkthrough about what's going on in the Entra ID portal. So stay tuned, and we are going to switch right about now. If you want to configure identity governance, obviously we need to go through the Microsoft Entra Admin Center, and then on the left side we need to choose identity governance, for example, dashboard. But now we are going just a walkthrough. So basically, let's start from entitlement management. Before going into the details how to configure packages and catalogs, I would like to highlight that we can create something which is very important to keep identity hygiene in your environment. This is the thing called manage lifecycle of external users. Let's imagine that you have external user, for example, Formula 5 account, and then this particular user don't have any active access package in your environment. You can configure the entitlement management in that way that it will be the user without package will be blocked, and then after a specific number of days will be removed if you will select the configuration like you can see on the screen right now. I have mentioned that you can create a conditional access package for external users. That means we need to also mention connected organization functionality. You can create something called connected organization to make sure that you will be able to use organization level targeting when configuring access packages. That means you can create dedicated packages for specific organizations. And let's start from the real objects like catalogs. In this particular case, those things were created by our identity governance as a code repository. So we have an internal use Formula 5 POC catalog. Let's go inside of it. And then on the left side, we have a couple of options like resources. It could be groups and teams, applications, SharePoint sites, or some things like Entra roles in a preview. Then we have access packages. And then we have also roles and administrators. It's very important because the person who will create the catalog will automatically become owner. Sometimes we need to add additional owners or any other options like reviewers, access package managers, and assignment managers. Those things can be created here. Let's dive into the packages. Here you can see two packages. One is the access package called package 1. We have resources selected from the catalog. So here we have some group that will give us the that will exclude all the members of this group from the conditional access policy, and it was done by the part of conditional access as a code module that we have created. Then we have something which is called policies. This will describe what we can do with this package. For example, if it will be used for users outside of our organization or inside only, if it will be targeted only to specific users or all of the users, or maybe including guests or excluding guests. Do we need an approval, justification, how many stages it will be there, and many other things. We can also configure lifecycle, which will be information when the package assignment will expire, or for example, if you want to have access reviews configured. And it's very important because we can have access reviews assigned for self-review, specific reviewers, or user managers. I will describe that a little bit later. So going back, somebody can say, all right, if we have access packages, do we have a functionality to make sure that some packages will be incompatible with each other? Yes, we have it. We have separation of duties. We can configure that the specific package will be incompatible with another access packages or groups. So basically, we can configure those things here, and it will help us to make sure that somebody will not have too large or too wide permissions within an environment. Going forward, we have access reviews functionality that will give us flexibility when it comes to yearly or quarterly review of the membership. So basically what we can do here, we can configure who will be the reviewer, how often we will start the specific action, when it will start, how it will look, where it will send the email notification. It will help us automate everything around reviewing if you still need access or no. There is one nice logic called recommendations, which is using information when the user logged in last time. If it was more than 30 days from now, the recommendation will be to remove the access. And it's obvious, if you are not using any access for 30 days, why you need that still. So those things also are covered by our identity governance as a code functionality when we are deploying those things. PIM, Privileged Identity Management. We also have established something similar to tiering in old-fashioned Active Directory, but for the Entra ID roles. We have selected roles for Tier 0, Tier 1, and Tier 2. Tier 0 are the highest privileges, are the roles with the highest privileges. Tier 1 are like roles with administrator permissions, and Tier 2 are the roles that will have only reader permissions. If we'll go to the roles, we are also configuring those things as a part of the automation. That means we can use, for example, a JSON file to control AI administrator assignments and settings. Speaking about settings, we can decide how long duration will be, if it will require MFA, if it will require justification, who will be the approvers, how long the eligibility will take, and many other things, who should get the emails also when somebody will start the role. It's very important to highlight the PIM, because we notice that sometimes organizations are enabling PIM in a default settings without any broader thinking about this topic, and then we can see that global admin is having just-in-time access for 8 hours. So that means the whole working day, but we should avoid such situations. If you need global admin or highest privilege role, you need to know what to do. That means you need to limit the time as much as possible, so no more assignment than 1 hour in that particular case. PIM also could be used for groups and for Azure resources as well. So the same functionality, the same logic, but on the different level of use. And then we have a life cycle workflow thing that I described. So for example, if we have a joiner or mover or leaver process established in our environment, why we should not use the automation for that. For example, we can select joiner process, and then we can review the task, what will be here. Enable user account, send welcome email, add user to the group. We can also add many other things, like for example, add user to selected teams, assign license, many other things. We can also do a lot of other additional customizations here. So sky is the limit, to be honest. For example, if we have a workflow that somebody is moving the team, we can select here, and then we can choose, all right, remove the assignment from the previous groups, remove from the teams, send notification. We can also add some other things like assign new groups and etc., just to make sure that specific user will be able to work as per his needs. I will go back to the entitlement management because there is a last thing that I want to highlight, which is the terms of use. We can create the terms of use that will be enforced to every users, and then they will need to read and accept the document that will be appearing in a portal when accessing portal for the first time. We can combine it with the conditional access policy to make sure that it will be working automated way. So yeah, you might think, all right, he told us how to configure that, but how we can use this in the field. So in order to do that, we need to go to myaccessmicrosoft.com, login, and then here you will see all the things around packages and other things. So in fact, if we would like to request new access package, we can click here and we can see what is inside of this package. As you can see, I already request that. You can share the link to the package for somebody else. You can use automation to request package for somebody else. So basically you also can see what are the resources inside of the access package. You can also validate what were the requests in the history made for you, what are the approvals, if somebody have to approve something or not. In this particular case, I'm an approver for those packages, so they are not appearing here. And then we can check if there are any access reviews assigned to our group/account to proceed with that. So these are the things in a nutshell about the identity governance. And in case you would need any support, help, or workshops around this topic, do not hesitate. Contact us. You can check all the required links in the description. And that would be it for now. Thank you.